Hi folks, Chris Martin here. On April 1st and 2nd of 2017, I had the great pleasure of playing 3 rounds of diplomacy with the Bay Area Diplomacy Association Badass Diplomacy Group at their tournament Whipping, the Badass Whipping. I'd been meaning to get out there for years and years and years, and then they stopped having it, and just this year, Siobhan Nolen resurrected it. So I had a fabulous time. And tonight I got a chance to sit down and talk with Siobhan about what went down. So here you go, without any further ado, what went down, who won, who got the best country awards. Enjoy. Hey Siobhan, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you, Chris?
I'm doing great. I have to tell you, I had a fabulous time when I was out at Whipping. Thank you so much for getting me out there. First time.
Well, thank you for coming.
Yeah, my pleasure. I'd been meaning to catch the Badass tournament, for years now, and this was finally the occasion when I could do so.
Had you never been?
I had never been. This was my first trip out there.
Okay,
Yeah?
well, there we go.
It worked out really nicely. So, for the people who are watching, tell us a little bit about yourself, how you got the tournament going, and how it went down.
Okay, in short, hi everyone, I'm Siobhan. Most of you probably know me if you're watching this. I've been a part of the Bay Area hobby for going on 16 years now, back when Eddie Burson was still running everything, but then he got busy with politics and life, and then for years, Andy Hull and Adam Silverman and I went round and round and round saying, somebody should do something, and we all kind of hoped someone else would do it.
Yeah.
And then finally I just got sick of that, and I decided to run this event. I want to say, and I might be wrong about the details, that the last whipping before this was in 2010.
Ooh, was it? I thought there was one a little more recent than that. I seem to recall
Was there?
not going to one more recently than that, but that could just be my memory. I know it had been fallow for many years. So
Yeah, it had been gone for many years, and it ended somewhere in the weird phase between 2009 and 2013 when I was out of the hobby, so I
Okay.
don't have my details perfect.
No. It's all good. We're very glad to have it back, and another tournament on the West Coast is always
Yes.
welcome. So,
Yeah.
how many people attended? How many individual diplomats were there?
There were 36 diplomacy players, not including myself.
Not including yourself. That's great. 5 full boards of players. And
It was
so,
awesome.
yeah, 3 rounds, right? It was
Correct.
Saturday, Sunday.
Yes.
And what was your timing that you used, and what was the scoring system that you used?
So the timing was every board had an individual clock. There were suggested times in the rules. I believe they were 15 for negotiation and 2 minutes for order writing.
Yep.
But each board could adjust that timing as they wanted to. So if they wanted to go shorter or longer, they were more than welcome to do that. That was chosen mostly in part to a lot of my locals had never been introduced to central scoring before. As much as it's my preference as a player, I didn't want to scare them.
You mean central clock?
Central
Right.
clock.
Central
Thank
clock.
you. Yes.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that makes sense. If you've been mostly playing house games and club games, then suddenly go into a thing where it's shouting at you, put your orders in the box, can be a little disconcerting.
Yeah. So maybe next year we'll do a central clock because it's my preference. It keeps the room moving at a good pace. Though it worked out in my favor on occasion, and someone pointed this out to me, that as TD with a central clock, adjudication callings on all boards tend to happen at the same time.
Yeah, so if you have a problem, you got to go boom, 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 and go.
Exactly. So that worked out in my favor a little bit.
Okay.
But, so that was timing. As for scoring system, we did sum of squares.
Sum of squares. Great. Did you have any boards on your 2-day round on Saturday that threatened to go from the daytime round into the evening round? That's happened before.
There was one that I thought might. I'd have to look it up and see which board it was, but it probably doesn't matter. But I think they called it around 4:30 in the end.
And then
After probably 6 or 7 draw votes.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So it was five boards on Saturday morning, 5 boards on Saturday night, and then 4 boards on Sunday morning, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So for the Saturday rounds, the morning round, Adam Silverman played 2 boards, and then I also played to round it out. And then Saturday night, you played 2 boards, but otherwise that was it.
Okay.
And then Sunday we had exactly 28 players, which was I was.
And
very
you were
grateful
able
not
to
flip on
sit.
this round.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
in the round when you were playing, did you have somebody who was designated to act as the tournament director if there was a problem on your board?
Yes, that would have been Adam Silverman.
Okay.
I was on board 3 in the middle of the room, which was helpful. But he was, I think, on board 1, and he did all of our draw votes, any adjudication rulings. I don't remember any coming up on my board, but it all sort of blurred together that morning.
I'm
So.
sure it did. Lots of work. So were there any shenanigans or hijinks that really made it stand out that that in the play of the game that struck you, that you noticed? I know you were very busy.
I was actually disappointed that people didn't take the April Fools
Oh,
metaphor more
right.
strongly.
Sure, it was April 1st and 2nd.
Yeah, and as a lot of people were very concerned about what I was going to do or whether people would, hey, I promised you Belgium, but April Fools. And I was a little disappointed in that. Other than that, it was fairly standard in terms of like tournaments I've seen. People getting angry at each other, of course. The whole but you promised me to do something, but it's diplomacy. Nothing
Right.
too major.
Okay.
There was the really terrible round for Austria in round 2, which was interesting. I think only one Austria of 5 boards survived that round, and he had one center.
One center, if I remember correctly. It was a rough tournament for Austria. And the worst of it was that round.
It really was, and I take that as a personal insult because Austria is my favorite country.
My favorite country too, right? So,
yeah.
Come on, get it together, Austrians. So where was your venue? This was in San Jose, right? This was downtown San Jose, and it wasn't like at an airport, hotel. Tell us about the venue that you chose for this.
So the venue conversation, when we first started planning this, a lot of people, especially the travelers, were confused as to why I didn't choose San Francisco, which I understand, but being my first tournament, I wanted it somewhere close to me.
Okay.
The venue in the heart of downtown San Jose was 3 blocks away from my work. I could go down and talk to them anytime. And they were also just a dream to work with, so that made that decision very easy. So I will more than likely go back to the Hotel De Anza in downtown San Jose again. The space was excellent.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
Restaurants and bars. I think the only downside was that the bathroom was 2 floors down from the plant room.
A little bit of a hike if you had an emergency, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I ended up giving my room key to a couple players at some points. I'm just like, just go down the hall. It's right there.
Okay, that works. Great. And did you have a lot of travelers for this event? A lot of people come in from all over?
I was looking at the numbers. Of the 36 players I had, it was about half travelers.
That's fantastic. Like 2+ boards of travelers?
Yeah, maybe 1 or 2 weighted in favor of the locals, but nothing significant. So
that's a great turnout. That's a testament to the organizing. You've been doing a lot of traveling yourself last year to kind of shill the event, right? And get people out there?
I absolutely have. I was tallying this up in my head earlier today. Over the past 12 months, I've been to 5 different tournaments.
Wow.
2 of which were also newly returning tournaments, Boston Massacre and Cascadia in Vancouver. Obviously, I went to Tempest. I went to Worlds at Weasel Moot in Chicago. And then I also did Carnage in Vermont.
Oh, great. Sounds like it was a good year of diplomacy for you. And it paid off in getting travelers to come to your event.
That was definitely one of the easiest sells on travelers was, hey, so I went to, Randy Lawrence Hurt, who was organizer for Boston Massacre.
Right.
The deal we made when I went was that if I went to Boston, he would come to San Jose.
All right. So, and I noticed on the Spark channel that we're in together that you're already doing the same thing. Didn't you line up Christian Padone, tournament director of the Philadelphia Massacre?
He has publicly said in a public forum that he will be in attendance at Whipping next year.
If you're in attendance at Philadelphia, right?
Yes.
Okay.
One of my locals is likely to go to Philadelphia this year.
Okay.
And he has never traveled before. And so that makes my attendance at Philly a little bit more likely because I'd like him to have a familiar face.
Sure. Yeah. Nothing like traveling a long way, showing up, and getting eliminated 3 games in a row. That's what makes diplomacy fun, right?
Oh, you're so unfamiliar with that, right?
Oh, no, that never happens to me. About 50% of the time that happens to me. Okay.
Yeah.
So for people who are thinking about maybe coming next year, it sounds like you're going to do it again.
Yes.
Same time frame in the spring as you're still planning it?
My goal is spring. I might move it out a few weekends. As much as April Fool's Weekend appeals to me, there were a number of travelers who have like yearly work commitments, anniversaries, birthdays, people that I'd love to get out if I can, and moving it a few weeks either direction. So mid-March to mid-April is the plan.
Okay.
That'll probably get booked in the next month or two.
Fantastic.
I'd like to have it booked before I go to Chicago for Moot, so I can at least have dates.
Promote it there. Absolutely. All right. Yeah. So it sounds like it was a great event. I had a fantastic time, even on the boards where I got shellacked. It wasn't a particularly good results tournament for me, but I did have a lot of fun. So let's break it down. Who were the winners of the Best Country Awards, Ken? Let's knock through that. Who had those?
So the Best Country Awards, and I can actually show you one of them because I still have to deliver it.
Best Austria, with the one center survival in round 2. No, that wasn't the Best Austria, I hope.
No. Best Austria, I think he ended on 9 centers. I don't have all of those results in front of me. But he did have a total tournament score of 32.9. Was Jordan Abramson.
Okay.
He and his father, Louis, used to be big in the Bay Area hobby and haven't been around for almost a decade.
Oh, that's fantastic.
And confirmed like 3 days before the event. And so, Jordan, you got to come get this.
Come get your bear, right?
Exactly.
And he's in San Francisco, so it's just a matter of sort of lining up a house game he'll show up at. Great. All right.
Exactly.
Best England.
Best England from round 1, went to Brian Sheldon.
Brian Sheldon of the Weasels now in Chicago.
Yes.
All right. How about Best France?
Best France, also from round 1. A lot of round 1 scores in the best countries. Went to Tom Hilton, again, a local who hasn't been around for many years. For anyone who was at the event and was following the Facebook room, he's the one that took all those amazing photos.
Okay, maybe you can shoot me some of those. If you have some of his pictures, I'll put them up with his video when we post it. Okay, Tom, great.
Absolutely.
Best France. All right. Germany.
Best Germany went to a pit kisser, David Miller.
David Miller. David Miller is newish. He and I were on the University of Maryland triathlon team together when I was doing my PhD, and he was an undergrad. And he kept seeing me post about diplomacy. He's like, "What's going on with this?" He picked it up. He's doing really well.
He's doing really well, and I'm going to give a little shout out to Grant Steele in New Zealand, who David Miller was visiting, and Grant talked David into traveling. It was the next upcoming tournament.
Very nice.
So I got a message from David one day, and he got to go home with an award.
That's great. All right, Best Germany. That brings Italy up on deck next.
I'm only mildly disappointed about this. Best Italy went to our reigning world champion, Chris Brand.
Oh my goodness. How did that happen? It's like he knows how to play Italy.
We get it, Chris, okay?
You would think that if Chris Brand was Italy on your board, the other 6 players would just make it their mission to eliminate him, right? And then go on and play the game. Exactly. We're just going to give you Austria, France, Turkey. Go kill him. We're going to reset the positions. And well, okay. Congratulations, Chris. You know, he knows how to play Italy.
I remember watching that board, and I remember watching Chris just grow and grow and grow, and I'm just like, guys, like,
that's funny.
I can't say anything, but really?
Yeah. All right. Russia.
Best Russia was Matt Shields.
Matt Shields up in Seattle.
Yes.
No, he's in Portland, not Seattle.
Portland,
I think of the whole Pac Northwest, one of those things. Exactly. Same thing functionally. I'm sure that doesn't offend anyone. All right. And then for the outstanding play of the country of Turkey, who do we have?
Went to one of my locals, Timothy Jackson.
Tim Jackson. It sounds like you had a really nice mix in performance and results from locals and travelers, right? Tom and Tim here are both locals, and then Jordan, also a local. 3 of the 4.
Tim, and Jordan. And then of the remaining 4,
Chris.
There was one from Chicago, one from DC, Vancouver, and Portland. So a pretty decent mix.
That's a good mix. Wow, very cosmopolitan tournament that you held there with results coming from all over. Okay, so drum roll, please. Top 3 results in reverse order. Who came in third?
Third place with 80.632 points would be Andrew Goff.
Andrew Goff. Wait a minute. Where is Andrew from? He's from Australia. Okay.
He's from Australia.
He came over and once again podiumed He just keeps doing that.
Two-time world champion?
Yeah, two-time world champ. I don't care. He's in North America. We should be taking care of these guys.
Well, he won Boston last year, and then he came in third at whipping, and I'm just like, guys, stop letting the...
Yeah. He says he's going to come back and make a real play for the Grand Prix this year. Says he thinks he can make a few tournaments. And hey, Americans, let's not let that happen, okay? Can we just agree on that? All right, okay, so in second place, just missing the win.
Just missing the win, but not very close to first place. With 85.27 points was Doug Moore.
Doug Moore?
Another world champion.
Another former world champion. So you had Andrew Goff, Chris Martin, Doug Moore, Chris Brand, four former world champions. Was there? Am I missing anybody?
Any others?
There are so many of us now. No, I don't. Cyril didn't come, right?
No, he did not.
Wow, that's pretty cool. Now wait, Doug and Andrew didn't win a Best Country Award.
No, neither of them did.
How did they come in second and third? Did you not have a drop round? Was this cumulative?
There was no drop round.
Okay. That makes...
I have debated this back and forth with other players and organizers. I only like drop rounds if there are 4 or more rounds. I like 3 results.
Well, you can see that this puts the player who can only come out on Saturday at a pretty serious disadvantage, right? As
it does.
80 points is a 30, a 30, and a 20, right? And if you have to drop one of those and then that's a 60, then somebody who played on Saturday, 2 boards on Saturday, well, all right, hey, you're the tournament director, you get to make these decisions, right? You want to win,
exactly.
Come out and play. All right, first place, running away with it, you say. How about...
Yeah, first place was 11 points ahead of Doug Moore with 96.093 was Timothy Jackson.
Timothy Jackson, the outstanding play of Turkey winner.
Exactly.
And does he travel to tournaments much outside of the Northwest?
No, he actually appeared back in our local hobby only just recently. He knew Doug Kent, actually, because Tim used to do something called, what's the name? Moir, I believe is the name for it. You have to get the details from someone else.
Okay.
It's something diplomacy related. You can tell that I've gotten all my details all lined up. But he was super jazzed after winning Whipping, and he's talking about going to Chicago either this year or next year. He may come out to Liberty Cup in Philadelphia.
Ooh, okay.
So, I mean, he got the approval from the significant other.
Hey,
that's all I
he
know.
didn't have a soft field either, right? Four former world champions, players from all over the country, and those of us who travel to tournaments, I gotta tell you, it doesn't surprise me that having won something, he's thinking about traveling to do more things. As much fun as it is to go and not win and see everybody, going and winning, yeah, that's nice.
It feels pretty good.
Yeah. Wow, that's exciting. Yeah. So with a score of 96, that means nobody got a solo that weekend.
There were no solos. I believe the highest single round or single board score was 50.7.
What was that, like a 12 center top over like a 12-6-5 kind of thing?
That was Brian Sheldon's best England in round 1.
Okay.
Tim Jackson had a score of 50 in round 2, which got him his best turkey.
Okay.
But other than that, they were mid-40s and below.
Wow, that's great. I like the way some of Squares tends to group people together unless somebody really has an outstanding result. It's not like you're looking for a collection of 3-way draws and then beating somebody on dot count. You've actually got to get some separation. At a 50-point score is, you've got half the points on the board. That's a good result.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And I prefer the style of play that some of Squares encourages. There's a lot of debates in the diplomacy hobby about what system is better for what. And, I've been talking to other TDs, and every time they're like, "I got complaints about the scoring system." I'm like, "Of course you did. You chose one."
Yeah, there's no winning with that, is there? You're gonna make some people happy. You're gonna make some people unhappy. I think the main thing is that people came out, people had a good time, and you had enough of a good time, and it wasn't a disaster that you're gonna do it again. That's fantastic.
I will do it again.
Yeah. Well, hey, I'm giving a call to all the people in the Bay Area to support you and help you with that, right? Get a good cycle of house games going throughout the year and build up excitement for it. Next year, get three boards of locals, four boards of locals, and 2 boards of travel, and have a bigger tournament. Pretty soon, we'll have you hosting DipCon. Don't think we won't.
Oh, yes, people have already talking about that. Give me a couple of years.
A couple of years, I think that's fair. Well, thank you very much, Siobhan. Any last thoughts for the watchers? Now, just so you know, people are watching this in Belgium. People are watching this in Argentina. People are watching this all over the world. We got people looking in on this on Hong Kong. So not everybody might know you. Anything you want to say to people who might want to come and visit?
I just want to say that San Jose is a great city. It surprised a lot of people who'd never really heard about it. There's a lot to do. The weather was fantastic, which you can attest to yourself.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
And people are already looking forward to this next year. People are asking me when the dates are. It's gonna get good travelers. The local hobby is gonna do nothing but grow from here on out. And I'm incredibly grateful to everyone who came out this year, and I'm excited for so many more years to come.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Siobhan. We'll catch up with you after your event next year.
Yes. Thank you, Chris.
All right. Bye. There you go. I had a great time out in San Jose at Whipping, and I'm looking forward to going out there again next year. I hope you can join us. Next up in North American tournaments is going to be DixieCon, run by David Hood and held every Memorial Day in Chapel Hill, North Carolina. You can find out some more information about it right here. Oh, right there. And if you like this video, click like. If you like what I'm doing, subscribe to my channel. And if you really like what I'm doing, you can support me on Patreon, about which you can find more information right there. Thanks, guys. I'm Chris Martin, and I'll stab you soon.